I remember, certain things I was told. I was told because I'm 5'5", that I should be as thin as possible so I look long on stage. Because a taller body, an extra 10 pounds gets distributed over that tall frame. But a smaller body, 10 pounds gained, is more visible. And then that would have the effect of causing a dancer to look smaller. So while we don't talk about this a lot as men, by the age of 17, I did have a full out eating disorder. And I was 120 pounds. I'm 160 now. So you'd have to imagine me 40 pounds thinner. And I only ate one rice cake a day with a glass of orange juice. And, because I was determined to do whatever I had to do to dance. So I was going to be underweight. So I looked tall. They wouldn't know, So we don't necessarily think that boys will have body image problems. But in the dance world, they do. You have to have a certain physique developed to dance. And so there does become a pressure to be thin and fit. And if you're a body type that's a little more prone to weight gain, or you're more muscular and you're shorter, you have to be careful as a boy to not take yourself into an unhealthy place with eating, because it can happen. And mine was my mother knew, but nobody really looked at a boy and said he could have an eating disorder, because once again, this is something that is always thrown on girls. But I realized hindsight, and this is one of the most important things I could say. When I started the dance, I just simply loved it. I loved it. I remember doing my first full-length Swan Lake, full-length Act 2 of Swan Lake, and partnering Odette, the lead ballerina in it. And it was one of the most mystical, magical, amazing times of my life, because I was so enraptured in dancing. But then when I went to the competitive aspect and went to New York City, and I needed to be perfect, I needed to do 10 pirouettes, I needed to have all the tricks, I needed to have the perfect body, I stopped loving dancing for just loving it. And it became far more of a pressure and an obligation. And so if I could say I regret one thing, it's hindsight looking back. I stopped loving to dance, and it just became an obsession to make it in the industry. And, I regret that. So I would caution any boy dancing, any man dancing, if you no longer love it, you have missed it. If you no longer love it, you have to go back to the place where you loved it, because that's really where the dance happens. Dance doesn't happen when we're a machine doing choreography. Dance happens when the soul and spirit of a person is absolutely free and loves to dance. That's when dance really happens. So parents, dancers, when you see your child has lost the love and it's just obsession, then it needs to be checked. It needs to be stopped.